All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Big Brother, and this week is a double eviction week.
That's right. So does the cookout able to hang on to everything here and make history, or is this double eviction going to screw up their plans? But, looking forward to finding that out. Ashley, what do you think here? What's going on?
No, I don't think it's going to screw up their plans. I think they could screw up their own plans, but
yeah,
I think they're good.
So this starts off with that HOH endurance competition that we last left off with. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of funny during the interviews. Claire said, I got Sarah Beth out.
Yeah.
She was really proud of herself that she got Sarah Beth out.
She was Tiffany's little puppet.
Claire seems to have a delusion.
Oh, yeah.
On how this game is playing out in her favor, or what hand she played in certain moves.
Well, what's funny
she really
about
didn't
that
play anything.
She didn't even change the noms to begin with, so I don't even know what she's doing thinking she orchestrated that.
Yeah,
so
that was all Tiffany, and Claire just was putty in her hands.
Yeah.
You know, and that's unfortunate because Tiffany's been playing Claire from day one.
Yeah, and we saw Big D was the first to drop, and then Alyssa was next because she was getting dizzy.
Yeah.
And she went off to the side and threw up. She was like, I can't hold on any
longer.
I
mean, she didn't just fall off. She practically let go because, she was getting too dizzy from it.
But the funny thing was, so before this, the cookout had made plans. They're like, all right, Kylan's going to win this, and we're going to give it to Kylan. And Tiffany was like, yeah, I'm not going to win this. We're going to give it to Kylan. So the whole cookout is expecting Kylan to win this HOH competition, right?
Yep.
And then what happens?
And it came down to Tiffany and Kylan. And then Kylan was like looking at Tiffany going, all right, I'm going to win this, right? And he saw how hard she was gripping onto that rope. Like, this girl don't look like she's getting ready to blow up anytime soon.
You see all the diary room conversations that they're saying at this point while this competition is playing out, and they're all very confused as to why Tiffany's still holding on.
Yeah, the whole cookout's like, what's going on here?
Like, it was very clear that Claire was the target this week, so why are you holding on? Like, let go. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I feel like that is on Xavier. So Xavier was really upset about it because, now that puts him on the block for another week if they stick to the plan, right? Because if Tiffany wins, then if Claire can't be the target, Alyssa's going to be the target. So therefore, he's going to lose his person before Tiffany. Mm-hmm. And no one likes that. But why did he purposely drop before Tiffany was gone, even though they all had the plan?
Well, because he thought Tiffany was going to stick to the plan.
And why would they give it to Kylan, though?
But why? Because that's her person.
Yeah, but why not give it to Aja, who hasn't won yet?
Well, Aja, I think, was supposed to.
That's right.
She was supposed to win.
That's right, because Kylan did say Aja or Big D, or not Kylan, but Xavier said we need to give one to Aja or Big D. Mm-hmm. Aja Big D ain't getting nothing.
That's what they were saying.
And then Aja dropped kind of early, too, so it's like, well, at this point, you got to give it to Kylan, right? But either way, Tiffany flat out said, I'm not going to win this one. Somebody else is going to take this. She said that to everybody in that meeting. Right,
yeah, but now I understand her reasoning. I mean, I think there's more to her reasoning than what she said, but her reasoning...
Well, she said in the diary room, why?
Yeah, but what... The reasoning is it's now her and Kylan. Kylan's already won 2 HOHs.
Yeah.
She's going to hand him a third HOH for his resume? I don't think so.
The main reason why they didn't want Tiffany to win because they wanted Claire out. Gone. And they knew if Tiffany won, she would be against Claire.
So Xavier should have made sure he held on till at least Tiffany fell. Because regardless if you guys all had the plan and there's 2 of you that have your people left. Mm-hmm. If if the target is the other person's, don't leave it in their hands to have the possible change of heart.
But he was hoping Tiffany was going to play by the group's rules, and be a team effort instead of a Tiffany effort, and obviously he was sadly mistaken.
Block HOH, block HOH. I want to be HOH. I'll be here for a minute, Kai. You keep swinging, I'll keep holding.
Well, it's kind of funny because Kylan's like saying, "What's going on, Tiffany?"
Yeah, like 5
She's
times.
like, "I'm good."
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. He's like, "Tiffany, you dropping?" She's like, "Nope, I'm gonna win this one." He's like, "What?"
She's like, "I can hold on all day."
I don't blame her though against Kylan in that situation. I don't blame her. I think there was more to it. I think she always. She
flat out said in the diary room that, hey, you know what? I'm gonna win this because I can, and because Claire's my person, and I'm gonna be selfish here and keep my person to the end, and So I mean, she flat out said, you know what? It's about me. This ain't about the cookout.
So she wins.
I don't need a man in this house because I have Tiff. Are you kidding me? I couldn't win this HOH because I was the secret HOH last week. I'm so stoked because I'm definitely going to Final 7. I don't think Tiff is blindsiding me this week.
And, of course, her noms are to the cookout's plan.
Right.
Modified plan of Xavier and Alyssa. So this is, 3 weeks in a row for Xavier being on the block?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. Xavier's talking to Big D and Aja, and mid conversation, Big D like falls asleep. He's like, is he sleeping? She's like, yeah.
People that are winning who shouldn't be winning. Like, if everyone's going to play a little more self-interest. But what am I continuing to throw competitions for? Is he sleeping? I don't get how you can do that.
On site.
Xavier is pissed.
Oh, he's
I mean,
he's mad.
he's at this point, like, before they play the veto, he's like, at this point in time, I want to win the veto, and I want to save Alyssa. I don't even want to save myself. I want to save Alyssa and put her in that position to where she's got to put up Claire or turn on the cookout.
Right.
Like,
so, and the thing is, everybody in the cookout's mad. But the funny thing is, when they're confronting Tiffany, like, all of them are pretty timid about it, right? Aja was very timid. You know, they're all, you know,
they're all like, hey, can you explain to us?
They're all complaining. Like, every single one of them are complaining. They're all complaining in the diary room. But then when they confront Tiffany, they're very timid about it. It's like, just tell her, man. But hey, you freaking, you screwed us. This is the
it's
plan.
funny because Big D, like, you could tell he's very nervous with Tiffany. He's like, I'm gonna kind of do what we're supposed to be doing, whatever. You know what I mean?
Then again, she is HOH, so you don't want to be too confrontational with the HOH, especially if she's straying from the plan of the group. You don't know how far she's going to stray. But she makes a valid point, too. The whole plan of the group, she started. Like, this whole everybody having a person, that was her idea. Yeah. If she wants to play the game where she keeps her person the longest, then
don't tell your people that I am not going to win this event.
Well,
don't tell your group I'm not going to win this event if you actually plan on winning it.
I thought it was very diplomatic of Kylan because he really confronted her and he put his thoughts out there, but tried not to irritate her.
And tried not to be confrontational about it. Yeah.
So I like the way he handled that.
Yeah.
So
it was interesting.
And then Tiffany gets bit in the butt.
Yeah, because veto competition, Xavier doesn't win to save Alyssa, but Alyssa wins to save herself.
Well, first off, Zingbot comes in and he's back.
Oh, yeah.
Billy, what'd you think of Zingbot since you're new?
That was the first time I see Zingbot. I mean, they were all like jumping, woo, Zingbot, woo! They were all excited, Zingbot. Exciting. And then you get out there and I'm like, hey, it's okay. It wasn't super exciting.
His jokes I didn't think were that great.
Yeah, they weren't that good. I didn't think they were good at all.
He only had one good joke, I thought, and that was the Aja
And like
one.
Hannah was like loving Zingbot, man.
I like the Aja one. He's like,
following things will never happen.
Oh no.
Time travel, teleportation, Xavier going on a date with
Aja and Xavier dating.
I liked Alyssa's
I can tell the future.
Too. I liked Alyssa's too, where he said she was dim and she didn't get it.
She
didn't get it. And Xavier's like, no, you understand it. You get it. It's fine. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that was a good one.
He's like, if you don't get it, I'm saying you're dumb. So there were a couple of funny ones in there, but for the most part, I can't get why they were so excited about Zingbot because I was like,
it's a seasonal thing. So.
Yeah, evidently.
Yeah.
So they have that micro stacking competition where they got to stack the miniature wine glasses,
champagne
glasses, whatever they are, martini glasses, and that was a really cool competition.
I only have one more micro cocktail that I have to put on top.
I know that this wasn't the first time they've done it, but it's the first time I saw it, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was cool.
I liked a lot of people were close to the end, and then the whole thing comes tumbling down.
It looks super frustrating, man. That was a super frustrating thing. Yeah, because the thing is, especially the longer you're doing it, right? I mean, the more nervous or the more shaky you're going to get, right? So I thought that was pretty frustrating, but cool game to watch. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and Alyssa looked like she was killing it and about to complete it a couple times. Yeah. And I liked their strategy too, like where some people were starting to rebuild once they knocked, and she just you got to start from scratch.
Yep,
you got to get a good base going. So
I mean, if a building collapses, you don't just keep the pieces that are up and add on to it.
It's almost
tear down and start over.
Right. Practically everyone versus Alyssa, and maybe Xavier. We don't know, but
at the end of the day, it paid off for Alyssa. She won, and now Tiffany's plans are screwed.
And this was fun because obviously Alyssa pulls herself off the block, which means Tiffany, what are you gonna do? Everyone's expecting to nominate Claire, but Claire's like her bestie in the house, so
there's that heartfelt conversation between Tiffany and Claire.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie to you. I want to be as honest with you as I can.
Are you in an alliance with them?
No, I have my own personal feelings about how I wanted to play this game. I'm so sorry.
then Tiffany still lies to Claire, and then Claire is just the...
She tried not to, but Claire straight up asked the question.
Yeah, Claire's the uttering idiot here who's just completely trusting Tiffany. I know she doesn't want to be putting the potential to color people home, and I understand, and it just, I don't hate her for it, Hey, Tiffany, are you in an alliance with him? No, I'm not. Yes, I don't blame her at all. It's not her fault.
And she's like, you still got my vote after that.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just gave her everything she wanted.
Right.
I mean, Tiffany is really, she's on the dark side, like on the bad side of the cookout here, but she's still coming out clean.
Oh, yeah.
Claire needs to be trying to convince her, though. I get she doesn't know the thing, but that should motivate her that she doesn't know this is going on, so she should be like, I can convince her because we're so close.
She doesn't want to.
But
she doesn't want to make Tiffany be the person, knowing that there's already a black person on the block. That the only other choice would be another black person. So therefore, the first black person being evicted would be.
I'd be like, don't worry about that because there's plenty more. So don't worry about it.
There's 5 other black people in the house.
She doesn't want to be responsible for the first one of them to go out and. And Claire gets it. She understands.
I totally get it. I just it just sucks that it's me.
So many people won't get it, but I get it. And that's why I can't fight her on this.
So she actually says, she's like, I understand. I mean, there's an emotional hurt,
you're talking $750,000. Screw all the racial BS. Screw all that nonsense. There's $750,000 on the line here.
But Claire,
race doesn't matter. It's about money, period.
But Claire doesn't seem to think that, or she thinks that she still possibly has a chance, even being put on the block. She's like, well, I'll fight all week, whatever. So she still has no idea that she does not stand a chance.
Yeah, it was really interesting because I think Claire went into the room like, all right, let's strategize.
Yeah,
He's like, it's you. And I'm like, oh. Yeah.
She leaves that room. That is not how I expected that to go.
That was a pretty touching moment. I mean, that's a tearjerker moment with the both of them. Apparently, Billy didn't think so.
I just laughed because Claire's buying her BS. Are you in a relation, or are you in a group with them? Nope. Oh, got to go. Understand.
She did ask her point blank.
She did.
She asked point blank. Yeah.
Because she was trying so hard not to lie to her, but then when she asked her point blank, she had to say no. So that was the lie.
Yep. I just don't understand why they couldn't have told them. Then what are you waiting for?
Even if she would have told Claire, yes, us black people playing an alliance together for that reason. Claire, if she was understanding of this already, she'd be like, okay, I still get it.
She would have been understanding. But they were mad because then Alyssa I'm like, what can Alyssa do? It's 1 versus 6, so who cares?
Well, the thing is, they don't want them going into the jury house and telling people though.
Or what happens when the first black person gets to the jury house? What about the second black person?
It's going to slip eventually, yeah, exactly.
How's that going to change anything?
No, I'm fairly certain they'll know in the jury house. I'm fairly certain that I don't think they wanted.
Hopefully they'll figure it out as they see who comes in there.
I don't think they wanted Alyssa to have the fear of needing to go into that next HOH having to win.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, but with the question and answer, I don't think it would have really mattered. Not that they knew that was coming, but
right.
All right. So
the next HOH is the question and answer.
Right. Well, as we expect, Claire gets voted out. She's gone, and then Julie hits them, and it's double elimination time. So time to do another game real quick to pick a new HOH.
And this is like a whole week of Big Brother in the same night. So you're going through a new HOH, veto, and elimination.
And I was kind of hoping this being a double eviction that maybe something different could have happened.
Yep.
But not so much.
No,
I mean, it basically came down to Alyssa had to win this HOH competition,
right?
To save herself, to make their plan not work, and of course she didn't win.
Well, let's. What's funny about this too? Once Claire is gone, Alyssa's like, with Claire being gone, now their last 7 people are people of color. This is amazing, like never before. And then they're like, yeah, great.
And Derek F's like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, we knew.
But did you notice you're not quite the same color?
If this plan follows through, the final 7 are all minorities.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
That has never happened. 7 out of 16.
That has never happened.
But what's funny too is she's like, well, I am half white. And she's like, am I next? Yeah. And they're like,
no. Yes.
Yeah. So
it's funny how it's going down.
So in that question and answer, you can see, everybody's really trying to go for it. Obviously Tiffany can't play because it's the next HOH, but except for Xavier, who you see him in his at first he's doing okay, and
at first he was rocking it.
And then he missed one, and then you think that maybe he just missed it on accident. And then he's just started missing them on purpose.
You'd think being a lawyer, he'd pay attention to the details.
Yeah, and he was. That dude was rocking it off the bat, and you tell he totally just threw it on purpose at the end there.
But to think about it, I mean, he had to throw it because the next person to go out was Alyssa. He doesn't want to be. Yeah, so he's throwing that competition. So.
Poor Xavier, is he going to try and win a competition all season? Or
I think now he will. Now that it's come down to all the black people, I think he's going to be.
He needs to now. So
he's going to be rocking and rolling now. He ain't going to be throwing anything after this. Yeah.
Maybe he's been using that as an excuse.
And especially if he wants the boys to stay in the lead here and get rid of the women, so it's down to the boys at the end, So
it's going to be very dynamic at the end, I think, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Hannah who wins, and now she's got less than 5 minutes to strategize with everybody. She goes into the bathroom. She's calling them in one by one, talking to people because this is all happening live on Big Brother. So
and most of the cookout ones, they're just coming in high fiving. Basically, she's like, okay,
all right, send Alyssa. Next, So she tells Alyssa, I'm going to put you and Xavier up, but Xavier's my target, and she's like, no.
She's kind of what?
But no, why? We're cool. You, me, and Tiffany. Remember? We're
right.
Yeah, no.
Same.
Not so much.
This is
same. No.
Cut and paste the whole season on what they do to these guys.
Exactly. Yeah. So up goes Xavier and Alyssa.
Xavier and Alyssa, please take your seats in the nomination chairs. You guys are a strong duo, and Claire was right, Xavier. You're a threat.
And then there's
the veto competition.
Then there's the veto. And who wins the veto, guys?
Xavier.
Not Alyssa. Which was her only chance. So, therefore, Xavier
pulled himself off, so Hannah throws Kylan on.
Yeah, and Xavier blew through that.
Oh, he did. Yeah. I mean, it was one of those puzzle ones, and Xavier just put that puzzle together like that. And he just.
I mean, I was watching everybody else. I wasn't even paying attention to what Xavier was doing.
Yeah.
I was watching everybody else, and I was like, all right, is Julie going to start to get frustrated because he's done. Oh my God, he's done.
He killed it. And
of course, over.
So then, of course, then he pulls himself off the block, and then Chada picks Kylan and throws him on the block next. And it didn't matter who she picked; they all knew that. So it didn't really matter who's going on the block next. But she picked Kylan, I guess, kind of as strategically, just so they could say, "Oh, Kylan's been on the block X amount of times." If he makes it to the final.
So, what do you guys think about the cookout accomplishing their mission and getting this final 6 people at the end here?
So I thought, good on them, man. Yeah, good on them. They were able to pull it off.
It's kind of nice to see that they did accomplish that.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the reasoning behind why they did it, but for years I've watched the show and I've watched big alliances, 6, 7, 8 members start from week 1, week 2. And then they start to get to know each other and get to know other people in the house, and they're always turning on each other within a week or 2. And someone from that group of 6 is going to be the first to go, and they're usually not making it to very far. Well, so the fact that they were a large group able to stick together
the whole time, exactly. And not only that, and that's what I appreciated about it. Not the fact it was a whole race thing. I don't. Whatever, man. When money's involved like that shouldn't even matter. But the fact that they had this alliance from week 1. And kept it quiet the whole time and pulled their plan off. That's amazing. I was like, man, kudos to them. I mean, kind of like Derek F was saying when he was kind of starting to figure it out when he went to the jury room. He's like, man, if they did this, holy cow, he's like, kudos to them. He's like, what a great plan.
It is impressive that they did.
Yeah, super impressive.
Now, some people are saying this is kind of racist what they did.
Derek Vex, I mean.
Yeah, some people are saying it's racist. Do you guys think it's racist, or you think it's okay, or what?
I think it's a little bit racist. I mean, imagine if all the white people had done that and said, hey, we're going to get all the black people out. It's definitely
it would be a problem.
It's definitely
racist. Be a problem.
Okay, the bottom line is, it was started because of race, period.
Right.
Us 6 black people were going to stick together. So it's racist. It started because of race relation, and that's it. So you can't say it's not racist. Just like we said, if it had been 6 Mexican people or 6 white people come together saying, hey, we're all white or we're all Mexican, let's start this club here, then it's
so I see the value in what they did and why they did it, absolutely. So, it is racist.
Smart.
However, I do want to point out the lack of racism on the other half of the house or the other part of the house, because nobody saw it.
Yeah.
So, if you want to say that, there's all this racism and
they were very smart.
Nobody saw it.
Right.
Yeah.
Very smart. I think it obviously is some form of racism the way they chose, but it is people choose bonds with people because of things they have in common.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm a little torn on this. I don't like that it kind of was chosen, especially when they got these bonds like Claire and Tiffany and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would have kind of hoped that would have been a stronger bond, but
Yeah.
I get what they're doing, and
Right.
what they're doing is kind of special, and I applaud them for being able to get it done and staying true.
Which
the way
is
they did it,
probably why they were able to stick together versus the usual large alliances that start just because they happen to be in the same competition at the beginning,
'Cause
or
they're-
in the same room at the beginning, or put on the same team
Right.
in something. And
Well, because
so-
there was conflict. I mean, there was conflict amongst that group. There was conflict with Kylan because of him trying to be selfish, and there was conflict between Tiffany and Derek F. And there was conflict between Tiffany and the whole group out of selfishness. So there was some conflict we saw in between the group, but they stuck it together.
I will say this is a pretty good group of people too. Like there's no one in that group. Maybe Tiffany rubs me wrong a little bit sometimes, but other than that, not really.
Tiffany,
Yeah.
I like her.
I don't mind Tiffany because she's the
gonna
most.
lose,
I liked her
though.
last week, but then this week she kind of irritated me with her selfishness, But we kind of saw that throughout the whole game, I guess. And she's kind of, something, but is what
But
it
then
is.
again, it was
At
her
the end of the day, it's $750,000. And at the end of the day, it's $750,000 on the line, so you're gonna play your game. So
Now, how do we think this is going to shake out in the end amongst the cookout?
I think Tiffany's gone next, man. I think if a guy wins the household, Tiffany's gone.
Unless she wins the veto.
I guess.
Unless she wins the veto. Yeah. So I think if a guy wins and Tiffany's, we'll just say the target because you don't know how the veto is going to play out. But if a guy wins, Tiffany's going to be the target.
Yep.
And if a girl wins, I think
Xavier
is going to be the target.
So. They'll put Xavier and Kylan up. The girls will if the girl wins. It's going to be Xavier and Kylan.
I hope it comes down to Aja and Derek winning.
That would
be great. Like,
that would be a waste of a season.
I don't know what kind of event it would have to be now for one of them to win the household, because they've proven they can't win like strength games, they can't win endurance games, they can't even win brain games, so they've been puzzle games, nothing. Like they can't win anything here. So I don't know what kind of game they could do.
They can't even win games people are trying to throw to them.
Right, exactly. So I don't know what I mean. Right. I mean, maybe if they have a fashion contest, Aja winner. I don't know, but
I don't know.
Oh man, but so I guess up next is the new head of household coming up on what's tonight? Sunday night, right? Next head of household.
But let's just talk for a quick second about Alyssa's little. You only got a snippet of her interview after she left or evicted. She still didn't realize it.
No.
She still did not.
She
see
is
it.
the dim-witted one, I guess, according to Zingbox.
I think she was like, I think they targeted me and X because we're such a strong team together.
Strong duo, yeah, that's what she thought. So I think with Sarah Beth gone, then Claire right behind and Alyssa right behind. Once the jury starts talking, they'll figure it out.
I was hoping to see a jury house.
Jury's already figured it out. I was too, but you guarantee jury's figured it out by now. Absolutely.
Well, they were suspecting it, so we'll see.
Derek X was on too.
They were like 90% on.
They were suspecting 4 of them.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah,
but like,
now they're gonna know for sure.
They gotta, especially with Claire. But by Tiffany sending out Claire, they have to see that.
As soon as Tiffany says Claire sent me out, Derek X is gonna be like, okay, this is what's going on.
Happening. Yeah. Yep. So. I don't know. I think it's going to be really exciting coming out this next week's a double eviction week again, and I love double eviction weeks. They're just, exciting and kind of leave you on edge. But especially the fact that they don't know another. They think they're safe from another double eviction because they've never had 2 back-to-back double evictions.
Right, exactly. So I think it's done.
That's really. They were all, if you watched the show like leading up to it, they were all kind of suspecting, knowing it's about time for a double eviction. So they were all wondering if this last week was going to be. So they had some kind of preparation for it. Yeah. But now they don't.
All right. Well, who do y'all want? Down to the 6th cookout now. Who you voting for? Who you rooting for here?
I'm sticking with Tiffany, but she's going to have to win a competition, whether it be HOH or veto.
I'm still sticking with X. I'll tell you. Here's why I'm sticking with X. X has won every competition. He's tried at winning.
I know.
And except that stacking the cups one. He tried on that one and lost. I think that's the only competition he's actually tried at and lost, right? Man, every other competition he's thrown, and you could, especially that last one, man, that we were just talking about, the guessing game one, he threw that. He was winning. He was hands. I mean, he had that. He would have gotten every single one of those questions right had he not thrown it at the end on purpose. So, I mean, the dude's smart. The dude's physically fit, and he can win the physical games. I mean, I think he's by far the most overall well-rounded player in this game.
Well, I think you got to separate it by the men and the women. Look, we've separated it by race at the beginning of the season. Now we're going to separate it by men and women.
I mean,
so I'm rooting for Tiffany. If the women come up on the plus side, I'm going to root for X. I think
if the women come up, I don't want Tiffany to win.
But then again,
I'd rather see Chada or
I mean, you think about
Aja
it. You got the 3 and 3. Each one has a weak link, right? You got Aja who can't win a competition. You got Big D who can't win a competition.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Hannah's not the best, and Tiffany's not the best. So likelihood is one of the dudes is going to win this.
I mean,
I'm kind of rooting for Kylan at this point.
See, I love Kylan.
The reason
I think he's just a genuine guy.
He's a genuine guy, but I think Kylan. Here's the reasons I don't want Kylan to win. Same part of the reason Tiffany. Kylan lied to his group. He tried doing what he could to keep Sarah Beth in after they'd already said, hey, he went rogue. Kylan went rogue.
You don't think Xavier would have done that if the plan was to get Alyssa out earlier on?
Nope, I do not think so. I don't think so at all.
I think he would
Xavier
have.
has been sticking to the plan this whole time. He even said that. He was like, I've been sacrificing, throwing games, sticking to the game plan here for the cookout this whole time.
But his person was never the target until the end.
He even if they targeted him 2 weeks ago, I think he'd have been like, yep, no problem.
I don't know.
I totally think he'd have said no problem. So, so for that reason, I don't want Tiffany and Kylan winning.
He did cry when she left. You remember we said that he didn't show emotion.
A little bit. He had like one little tear coming down.
It was down his face.
Right,
he cried.
Yeah. He was like squeezing it out. Like, yeah, exactly.
What is wrong with you? Yeah, I did
sad.
it. Right. There's a tear. Look.
You guys are awesome.
All right, everybody. Well, another episode down. Hope you guys enjoyed this week as we did, and we'll check you at the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
His Cowboys lost.
Yeah, the Cowboys. Oh gosh. Everybody was clowning on my Cowboys, but guess what? Only the
you
defense.
You do that a little too well, I think.
Yeah. I bet. You know what? I bet if they had a freaking pie eating contest, Derek F like gangsta pies.
I don't know what that guy's good at. I don't know what he's doing.
Freaking pie eating contest, man. You could tear that up, dude.
Sleeping is the only thing.
You see that little dance he did? Like he can squat real low. I don't know how he supported that weight.
Shake his butt, Yeah, they had.
That looked tough.
They had a dance off him. Maybe he win that. Sleeps a lot. That dude sleeps. He's like a cat, man. Dude sleeps freaking like 18 hours a day, man.
Yeah, I'm really jealous of that. I wish I could sleep that much.
I mean, he can sleep in any position too. It's just like
he just puts the glasses on and he's done.
Care, man.